Elvis Presley may have passed on, but his family continues the legacy of the king. Elvis has an extensive family line, mainly coming from his only daughter with Priscilla Presley, the lovely Lisa Marie. It's definitely safe to say that legends truly never die, especially in Elvis's case. I'm your host, Nostalgic Nick, with Do You Remember? And today we're checking out Elvis Presley's family line and seeing what they're up to today. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any other famous family deep dives. Alrighty, let's rock and roll. Priscilla Presley.
Isn't it possible that the man has grown up? That he realizes he has a daughter and he wants to know her?
I just don't think people suddenly change like that.
Priscilla was married to Elvis from 1967 to 73. The two met in Germany 1959 during Elvis's army tenure. When she was just 14 and he was 24, they would eventually move in together, and Elvis would go off to Hollywood while he had affairs with many of his leading ladies and co-stars. It was shortly before Christmas 1966 that Elvis would ask Priscilla to marry him. There was a lot of controversy surrounding this. Her father threatened to have Elvis charged under the Mann Act, taking a minor across state lines for sexual purposes. Yikes. Colonel Parker, Elvis's manager, also encouraged him to marry by reminding him about his RCA morals clause in his record contract. Sometime soon after marrying, Priscilla discovered she was pregnant. 9 months later, Lisa Marie Presley was born. Unfortunately, following many affairs and relationship problems, the king and queen decided to divorce. This wasn't the end for Priscilla, though, as by the 80s, she embarked on a very promising acting career. We saw her in hit shows like Dallas as Jenna Wade, and later on in the Naked Gun franchise. Since the 2000s, Priscilla has been helping showcase the Graceland residence as a public attraction, allowing fans of Elvis to take tours of the residence to see what his life was like before he passed away in '77. Today, she's in her mid-70s, and we can't help but wonder what life would be like for Priscilla if Elvis was still alive today. Lisa Marie Presley. Lisa Marie is the daughter and only child of Elvis and Priscilla. She was just 9 years old when her father died. Lisa Marie would become the sole heir of his estate. Lisa Marie went on to follow in her father's footsteps, embarking on a music career and releasing her debut album in 2003, To Whom It May Concern. And it was a hit, and went on to reach number 5 on the Billboard 200 albums chart. Lisa Marie is also well known for her many short-lived relationships with some well-known public figures in the entertainment industry, including Nicolas Cage, but especially with Michael Jackson. She has 4 children, Riley and Benjamin Keough, with her ex-husband Danny Keough, and twins Harper and Finley Lockwood with ex-husband Michael Lockwood. Terribly, Lisa Marie has been going through every parent's worst nightmare, as her son Benjamin committed suicide in July 2020. Since his death, Lisa Marie has been relatively quiet on social media, only posting some photos here and there of her children, including an old photo of Benjamin on what would have been his 28th birthday. Vernon Presley, the father of Elvis Presley. Vernon took care of most financial matters through Elvis's life while the patriarch was still alive. This was because he was terrified they would go broke again. Allegedly, Vernon was especially scared of the Memphis Mafia because Elvis wanted to share his riches and gifts with the Mafia. Vernon had a couple hiccups with the law, like in 1938. He was found guilty of altering a check written by his landowner and employer, and subsequently lost their home as a result. Vernon went to jail for 8 months, while his wife Gladys and son Elvis moved in with relatives. Vernon died not long after Elvis in 1979 of heart failure. When Vernon heard the news that Elvis had died, he apparently assumed that the Mafia members killed him. Sounds like a conspiracy to me. GLADYS Presley. Elvis's mama gave birth to him on January 8, 1935, in a 2-room shotgun house that his father Vernon had built for the occasion. Did you know that Elvis had an identical twin brother, Jesse Garon Presley? Sadly, though, he was a stillborn. Elvis formed an especially close bond with his mother, and that's why when Gladys died of a sudden heart attack, it broke him. She was all we lived for, Elvis apparently said back in 1958. It broke my heart. She was always my best girl. GLADYS was especially devoted to developing Elvis's musical talents and followed her son from coast to coast, supporting him in all his musical endeavors. Harper and Finley Lockwood. They are the fraternal twins of Lisa Marie and her decade-long spouse, guitarist and producer Michael Lockwood. While the two are only 12 years old today, they know all about their famous grandfather and love his music. Priscilla has been quoted recently saying that her granddaughters are experiencing life and having fun. Priscilla has also noted how the twins are often in awe about how many people show up to the candlelight vigils for Elvis and just how beloved he was by so many. Their interests include drawing, listening to music, and just messing around on the phone. That sounds about right for two 12-year-old descendants of the king of rock and roll. Benjamin Keough. Benjamin was the son of Lisa Marie and her first husband of 6 years, Danny Keough. As the grandson of Elvis, you can imagine Benjamin spent a large portion of his life under the limelight due to his infamous family. He eventually made a deal with Universal Music for $5 million during his teenage years, but no music was ever released. He did act in a short film called Rod and Barry in 2017, but otherwise really just laid low and often accompanied his family to red carpet events. People have long been interested in Benjamin due to the fact that many people think he looks a lot like Elvis. Sadly, Benjamin took his own life in July 2020 at 27 years old. The reason behind the suicide was not known, and he apparently had traces of cocaine and alcohol in his system at the time of death. Benjamin was laid to rest at Graceland alongside his grandfather. Riley Keough.
Where's that accent from? Texas. So you a Southern girl, a real American honey like me.
Danielle Riley Keough was born in May 1989 and was primarily raised by her father in Hawaii and Los Angeles. At age 15, Riley began modeling at fashion shows for Dolce & Gabbana and Christian Dior. She even appeared on the cover of Vogue, but she quickly changed gears into acting and made her feature film debut at age 20 with her portrayal of Marie Curie in 2010's The Runaways. Her breakout role, however, was in the first season of the series The Girlfriend Experience in 2016. And around that same time, she played the role of Capable in the blockbuster continuation of Mad Max: Fury Road. In 2017, she starred in the thriller It Comes at Night. She stayed in the horror genre, playing the lead in the 2019 thriller The Lodge. In her early 30s, she currently has 3 projects in the works, including the titular role as Daisy in the upcoming miniseries Daisy Jones and the Six. Man, that was nice to revisit. Sometimes I forget that Elvis is no longer with us, because his family has gone on to represent his legacy in such an incredible way. So much talent in the family, and of course, uncanny resemblances. So tell us, who is your favorite family member to learn about? Have you ever visited Graceland? Tell us about it in the comments below, and share some Elvis memories while you're at it. We also have a deep dive video about the many relationships that Elvis had, so be sure to watch that one next. As always, please like and subscribe, and from all of us here at Do You Remember, thank you very much for watching.
Thank you very much.